right. Hello. Welcome back, everybody, to another Market Open. We are 4 minutes late today. I'm sorry about that, but we are here. We've got a green market, at least in the pre-market. We had a lot of different companies that were up. Palantir is up, Google is up, NVIDIA is up. All our typical fun tech stocks are up. I was actually up at 4:30 a.m. if you were following me on Twitter. And Palantir was was killing it at like 10:39, $10.39. It was really cool to kind of see it play out. But we have a green market, and now it's time to see how long is that green market gonna last, or if that green market kind of before the Friday, where we usually tend to get a sell-off, doesn't stay as green. And so that's what we are going to see. Kevin, what's up? Ray, Broccoli Bob, Kane, Frost, Ramu, Jem, Aaron Sharp, Eeyore was right, Joseph, Villayez, Stasis. Hello, Brooder. Is what type of nationality is Brooder? I know it's something in Europe. T, what's up? Mario, Sassy Rose, Mr. Russo, Felicia, Jason, TJ, Sean, Bletchinger. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Zuma 92. It was at 10:52 at one point. Wow, Palantir was at 10:52 at one point. Are we past the 10s? Are we past the 10s? Are we done with that range? Because I wasn't done buying in the 7 and 8s. And I was buying in the 7 and 8s. I was accumulating, but I wasn't done enough. But I don't know, man, to fall to 7 or 8s, it's going to be a lot. I'm not saying it can't happen. In fact, if it happens, it would be great. I would be very happy. But who knows if it's going to happen. Wow, 10:52. I didn't even know that. Laser, what's up? iBot, what's up? Jonah Anderson, what's up? Blaze Pest Control. Saludos, the Roach Killer, and NJ. All right, well, everyone, this is Blaze Pest Control managed to plug himself. The Roach Killer and NJ. If you're in New Jersey, you need to get your pest control. Which we lived in an apartment for a long time when I was little, and I literally slept and ate and showered with cockroaches. It was a good 5 years of just cockroaches everywhere. Ivy Hill Apartments, Newark, New Jersey. It was a lot of cockroaches. And we're blessed to not have to deal with that anymore. But man, I know what it feels like. And then when we moved, the sofas that we took to the new place we moved, they had more cockroaches. So it's like we never got rid of them until we finally got into a house. There we go. Palantir 1046. Oh, wow. 1040. So we are above 1030. Pre-market up 1.95%. Man, oh, man. Let's see if this holds. That's what I'm curious about. Let's see if this actually holds. We got Meta that's down a little bit pre-market. TFC up 0.28. Wow. TFC breaking $29 pre-market. So you've got that on the TFC side. Meta at 1040. I didn't even know Meta was at 1043 pre-market. Wow. That's amazing. Weight Watchers is up 1.39%. Tesla, 174 pre-market. Duolingo down a little bit. SoFi up just a little bit at 4.98. Let's see if they crack $5. Wow. The NASDAQ is 12,500. I don't know if we closed there yesterday, and we might have, but I did not know we were past 12,300 on the NASDAQ, which is the last time I saw it. Where's the S&P? Wow, S&P's at 414, 415 yesterday. It closed. And NVIDIA, I don't know if people saw this one. Look at that. 304 pre-market. NVIDIA is above 300. NVIDIA is above 300. Good morning from Sydney. Alice, 11 p.m. right now. Australia is cool because, like, the sun's always out, right? I love it. That's so awesome. Thank you all for being here. Is it all Kathy? Well, so I have a video coming out today explaining the Kathy Wood purchases. For those that do not know, we covered it yesterday on the podcast. Kathy Wood has bought another 1.2 million shares of Palantir. This comes in addition to the 4.3 million shares she bought last week. She also included our Palantir in a new ticker for the ARK ETF. They bought an ARK W last week and ARK KK. Now they bought it in ARK F, which is their fintech fund. Last time, Palantir was one of 2 stocks on the planet. The other stock was Unity Software that was included in all 6 of the ARK ETFs. The space one, the fintech one, what's the other one? The flagship innovation one, and then the genomics one and a bunch of other ones. And so maybe that's what she's doing again. Maybe she's deciding to load up and put it there. And also maybe she's deciding to buy because she sees this consolidating way past 10, maybe to 11 and 12. And if that's the case, then she probably wants to get in quicker before, she can get out. And if that's the case, that's also going to be more buying pressure on the stock. This is going to be an interesting day. We've got a lot to see for how it's going to play out. We've also got some earnings to go through. Yesterday at Target earnings after hours. I'm going to go through those, or I think pre-market, and we'll cover that, and we'll see what we got. May 18th, 2023, 9:30 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. It means the absolute world for me that you're spending your morning with me or your evening with me. The stock market is now open. Wake your ass up. There we go. Palantir at 10:43 as we open up the pre-market. Volume pre-market is phenomenal. Wow. That's I didn't even see the volume on the pre-market. UiPath was in all the ETFs as well. Oh yeah, you're right. Path was in the ETF. I forgot about that. Yeah, Path was there. Hello from Czech Republic. Hello, Tomas. Thank you for being here. Let me know if I'm saying it right. Palantir 1041, S&P at 414, Nvidia 303 up 0.57%, ARK Innovation 3856, TFC Truist at 28.91, Meta at 242. So Meta blowing past 240 now. So we are there on Meta. We got Duolingo at 143.22, Super Micro Semiconductors, Super Micro Computers. This is a crisp pick. He called this one at 70. This is the saddest thing. He called me the other day. He's like, he didn't mean to say this, but he's like, so how much SMCI do you have? And I was like, none. And it's like that dad who's disappointed. He's like, you didn't buy any? I was like, no, I didn't take any of those screenshots you were sending seriously, bro. I don't know what you want me to tell you. And it's just like, it is what it is. Microsoft at 3. Why is Microsoft at 314? What is going on? The market is just giving it more momentum. Google at 121. I understand that they just had a big AI day, but Microsoft and Nvidia are getting a little bit more momentum. Wejo 35 cents, Nasdaq 12,517, Shopify 60.98. Kathy Wood also sold some Shopify yesterday. Snowflake 177. Snowflake is in talks to acquire a company called Neeva, which does AI generated search. Snowflake may be entering into the AI search business, which will be very interesting. A lot of the search engines and browsers are going out of business overnight because you don't need a search engine or browser when you have AI powering your business. So it'll be very easy or interesting to see what happens to Snowflake. Netflix is at 349. That's big. Netflix is nearing 350. We got Rocket Lab at 4521. Coinbase, where we have Coinbase. Coinbase at $60.40, down 1%. This is a lot. Ahmed, good morning. Ahmed, thank you for being here. Nate, what's up? Palantir just keeps going up. Snow partnered with MasterCard. Okay, that's awesome. Oh, Palantir's at 1063. 1063. Wow. I was going to pull up the Kathy thing. I'll pull that up in a second. Wow. 3.85%. Don't look at your portfolio because you might just cry. And not the type of tears when you got rejected from that girl in first grade. The type of tears that you're going to have when you see your daughter get married. Those are the type of tears you're going to have when you see your portfolio. Even if you're still bag holding, the tears will be those types of tears, not the types of tears we had in June 2022. That is absolutely phenomenal. Officially green on Palantir. That's what I'm talking about, Fadi. Officially green on Palantir. Shintoki, Palantirs of joy. That is exactly what we are looking for. And ladies and gentlemen, as Palantir is ballooning to 1063, we have also hit 300 on the live stream. Thank you, 300 people, for being here. It means the world. So this is the post that I wanted to show. By the way, you can see I was up at 4:30. I was like, oh, Palantir's up pre-market. I was like, oh, what a nice, pleasant surprise. So this is it. We got 912,000 shares in the ARKK ETF, 149,000 in ARKW, and 201,000 in ARKF. So she was buying pretty heavily, and she was consolidating her position. Look at that. Steve W says my Palantir average was 733. That's phenomenal. So let's do some math. If Palantir's at 1063, we're going to do this minus this divided by this. You are up 45.020464%. Not bad. In a week or two, not bad at all. Absolutely amazing. Super, super, super cool. So this is some of the ARK buys. Obviously, she was buying a lot. Was there anything else I was going to show from here. Obviously, NVIDIA, we had it at 303. And yeah, again, at 4:30 a.m., it was 10:33. So, I mean, I was up pretty late last night. I was up to like 5:30 a.m. and I was tracking just some of the stuff going on in the market. And I was surprised by the momentum I was seeing in the pre-market. Palantir now at 1050 to 93. Man, it's going to be interesting to see if we blow past the 10s and we consolidate at 11, 12. And I don't know how much we can expect for it to keep going forward, but if the Fed pauses next month, and I don't know if you guys saw in Trueflation, we went down a massive amount on inflation. Chris was talking about last night that he sees some reports saying that inflation is going to come in at 4.1, which would be an 800 basis point decrease from last month. When that happens and the Fed decides to pause and then eventually potentially cut by this year, they said they're not going to cut till 25. It's like, yeah, all right. If they cut by 10 by this year, there's going to be some positions where you're just not going to see Palantir at $7, $8 again. Like that's just not where the market's going to lead it to go. And so we will see. We will see. It's still a little early, and it's fun to enjoy this, but we've got to see how this is going to all play out and go from there. Pull up a couple of other things, and let's see what else we have here. Oh, we got Walmart earnings. Okay, so let's take a look at Walmart earnings. This is a big consumer staple. This is going to let us know a little bit more about where the general consumer is. Let me go to Walmart on the ticker symbol real quick. Walmart is up 3%. All right, so it seems like Walmart earnings weren't the worst. Let's take a look at that.
Pretty strong report here from Walmart. It looks like beating consensus adjustments for both the adjusted earnings reporting $1.47 on revenue of $152.3 billion, so above consensus for both of those. And we know Walmart's been shifting its focus to profitability rather than scale. They're reporting operating revenue of 17.3%. The retailer is also upping its full year guidance, kind of bracketing where consensus is right now. Although for the second quarter, it does look like the earnings is a little shy of where the street is. U.S. comparable sales for Walmart up a strong 7.4%. Now, that is a slight deceleration quarter over quarter, but well stronger than what we've heard from other retailers so far this quarter. Transactions and average ticket grew. Walmart added share in grocery and noted specifically from higher income households there. The gross margin did fall 18 basis points to 23.7% due to a higher percentage of lower margin sales in areas like grocery. U.S. net digital sales grew 27%. That's a quarter over quarter acceleration. And remember, yesterday, Target actually reported a deceleration in digital sales. Global ad revenue, that grew 30%. Walmart Connect ad sales here in the U.S., that grew 40%. And I spoke briefly to CFO John David Rainey, who noted that while there is, quote, some strain on the consumer, the resilience has surprised us. Personal balance.
Yeah, that's I thought what he was going to say. So he says there's some strain on the consumer, but the resilience has surprised us, and I think that's important because balance sheets are much stronger than they were pre-pandemic, and that's what you want to hear. I mean, like that's a great earnings for the entire economy. For the Walmart CFO to be saying earnings are better, or the balance sheet of Walmart is better than it was pre-pandemic. And if you remember, like February 19th, I think Tesla hit 940 pre-split. It was like up 5x for the year. It was like some insane number. I remember this because I was in the gym buying it at 940. Like I remember where I was. The market was at a nice high. It was S&P was at 365, but that was like a really nice level right before the pandemic hit. So for him to say the balance sheet is better than it was in the pandemic is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So that's a great earnings we're getting by Walmart. Let's take one more look at the market, and then we'll get into some other stuff we have as well. One quick note on Meta. TikTok has officially been banned in Montana. For those who are international, Montana is like this state in the United States. It's a little bit more of a conservative Republican state. They've officially banned it, not just for governments, for everybody. It's done. So that might be why we see a little bit of Meta green, but it would be interesting to see if other states follow suit. I don't think that would happen. I don't think if California banned TikTok, the unemployment rate would rise to 45% because everyone in Los Angeles is an influencer on that app. So I don't think California is doing it, but if they, if other states take precedent, that would be interesting. Palantir at 1070, 1073, 1073, up 4.49%. Wowzers. This is some heber-jeebers. This is insanity. Wow. Nvidia at 307.98. Nvidia up at 3%. This is just, where's the recession, man? I thought that was coming, and maybe we're in it. Maybe we already went through it. What is going on? This is incredible. Unbelievable. Wow. That's that's nice. That is nice. Let's see if it holds. Let's see if it holds. Google is up, Microsoft is up as well, and again, Tesla 174 is doing well. I mean, Tesla got a nice gain from this this investor day or their shareholder meeting, whatever. But the market cap's still 500 billion, right? They've got to do some more stuff to get people to believe. Can you pull up Grab numbers? 130% revenue growth year over year. Grab, they're a public company in the US. I don't know that. Oh wow, they are. I did not know that. They're down 6.24% today. Wow, I did not even know that. I thought they were like an international company. Yeah, I'll pull them up. I'll pull them up in a bit. I did not know that at all. Recession was priced in all along. You know, this is the thing we were talking about on Finance Junkies last night. There may be a world in which, honestly, the recession has, as markets are forward-looking, has been priced in for the past 5 months, which is insane because the S&P has remained above 400. And so if it was priced in, maybe that was the soft landing we were talking about. Now, if inflation reverts itself and it comes back from 4.9 to 5.2, then we have an issue. But all signs just look like that's not happening. Maybe today's a day to sell everything. You know, I'm not going to dismiss that comment because maybe it is. Maybe this is a peak in the market right now with Nvidia at 309, Microsoft at 314. The problem is you don't know, which is why timing it is such a difficult thing to do, right? And so you probably don't want to sell everything if you would sell everything. But maybe there is a peak going on in the market. We don't know. Amit, do you have a realistic price target for Palantir, or are you just going to ride the stock as far as you can? Well, look, I said this yesterday. If Palantir gets to $50 tomorrow, I'm selling the crap out of it. I'm moving on, right? Like if that happens, I'm not staying in stock. I think if it has a slow, steady growth to $100 to $150 by 2030, which is my kind of price target on assuming we actually CAGR at around 25-30% year over year growth, I'm fine selling my shares at $100 in 2030. Remember, Palantir at $40 will be a $100 billion company. So at $100, it's going to be a little bit above a $200 billion company if we factor in like 3% dilution year over year. So, it'll have a decent valuation. The question, there's two narratives that come to Palantir. It's just two simple narratives. Does it have an S curve? Does it genuinely have an S curve? Because then it's like, forget 100 billion. You know, we're going 300, 400, 500 billion because it's actually that exponential. Because they don't have a consumer product, I don't know if that S curve is going to be that exponential, right? The iPhone, the Tesla car, it's a little bit more exponential than enterprise software or in the government space. But if AI is what we all think it is, then maybe that S curve does exist, even if it's just B2B. The second option is it has a Salesforce-like mentality when it comes to growth. And if we pull up Salesforce right now, just to take a little bit of a comparison, me and Chris have talked about this a lot over the past year. This is Salesforce's chart. It has a market cap of 205 billion. So Palantir at $100 would be close to 205 billion, a little bit above that. And it was a slow grower over time. Now, a bubble got Salesforce to 311, and this is when you should have sold, right? This is when I think the market cap was like 300 billion or something. This is when it was time. And then it fell back right down, and now it's at 210. This is the most realistic path that Palantir will take over the next 10, 15 years. However, the fun part about Palantir is that Salesforce is just a CRM at the end of the day. Like, it's exciting, but it's not that exciting. Palantir, you've got drug discovery, you've got the pharmaceutical industry, you've got energy, you've got defense, you've got the NHS, you've got healthcare, you've got space, you've got Meta Constellation, you've got on and on and on and on and on the amount of ways the software can be utilized. I'm putting up a video later today where I reacted to Alex Karp in his latest interview in Spain. This was the most ballsy interview I've ever seen him give. And you can talk a little shit when you've got GAAP profitability, but I don't think he's the type of CEO that in 2030 his stock price is at $30 and he wants to be talking the way he's talking. I think he feels that they're going to be one of the biggest fucking companies in the world. That's what the vibe I get from the CEO. And that's purely the subjective experience I have as I watch that interview today. And you guys will see when you watch that interview and see my reaction. But it was the mentality that, no, this is a real thing. This is big. Now, granted, they still have to put up a lot of numbers in quarters. So I really don't want to get ahead of ourselves. And, 1066 is great, but a lot of averages are still in the 20s. So they've got a long time to go. But we will see how this plays out. The journey is the most important thing. I actually have a video coming out about that a little bit later. Johnny Mac's Spain interview was fire. Yeah, it was great. It was after the wig comment was legendary. He literally said there's people copying Palantir and him, and he's going to take wigs of his hair and distribute it to those people. It was just such an epic interview. 500 a share, and I'm out. 500 a share would be $1 trillion market cap. Look, man, if we get there, oh my goodness, if we get there, I just don't know if we get to 500 a share. But if Palantir is one of those companies that surprises everyone, and we get to like, forget 500, like 250 a share, and we're at $500 billion market cap, it's going to be one of those lifetime experiences you go on over 10 years where you take a stock from $7 to 250. It's just, and all the stuff you have to go through to get there. That journey is awesome. 1071 Palantir. That's amazing. Can't wait to actually hear the NHS finally say Palantir gets contracts, even though we already knew it. I just want to hear them say it. Yeah, I agree. And I think that NHS decision will come in October, but the NHS has already directed hospitals to start putting their data into Palantir software. Like, this is happening. There's just a question to see when it's going to happen and when they're going to officially announce this. Okay, let's take a look at some other stuff we have going on right here. There's one of these clips I wanted to pull up. Yeah, let's take a look at this. We have Arc Innovations head of research. Someone's got to ask him about Palantir. I don't know if they asked him on this interview, but he's talking about mega cap tech versus some of the growth names. Let's see what he has to say.
For more on this, let's bring in ARK Invest Chief Futurist Brett Winton, Fast Money's favorite futurist. Brett, great to have you with us.
Great to be there.
The only one we know, actually. Just to be clear, for Amazon, when we think about what Amazon does already, I mean, it knows what books I want to read. It knows, what food I like to eat, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, on some levels, isn't AI already being implemented? What is the difference between what Amazon is doing now with what they will employ?
Well, I think that this more speaks to how Amazon's front-end experience is broken and perhaps profoundly broken because of the way they incorporate kind of third-party products onto their platform. I think Amazon's platform, it has a lot of legacy debt to how the business has evolved. And so it's natural that they try to apply new language models to helping user discovery. I think through their smart speaker networks, that's maybe been a more promising way they can deliver users to products that they want to buy. And every company is going to have to adapt AI. It's funny, Dan, to hear you talking about, oh, this is hype or a near-term hype cycle. Our belief is that there's going to be upwards of $90 trillion that accrues to the enterprise value of AI software companies, broadly speaking.
So they expect $90 trillion of value coming to enterprise software for the enterprise software AI companies, not your typical, basic SaaS companies, but real enterprise companies that are delivering value via AI. If that's the case, I think I understand why they're loading up more on Palantir. I mean, it makes a lot more sense for why, because Palantir is an enterprise software company that is quite literally overnight changing its entire business to have AI as the center. Now, again, AI machine learning has always been the backbone, but it's finally being marketed the way it should be because ChatGPT has revolutionized the paradigmatic values we have towards software. And if that's the case, I think, this is the head of ARC basically giving you the reasoning for why they're buying AI-enabled kind of $15-20 billion companies versus Amazon and Google doing stuff in AI at $1 trillion.
And to give you a sense of that scale, the current equity markets are on the order of $100 trillion. So there's a huge business value opportunity that's going to be kind of accommodated over the course of this business cycle. Now, is Amazon, because it announces a large language model at its front end, going to take advantage of that? Probably not. It's actually, maybe a legacy infrastructure that they have that they need to upgrade to stay competitive with nimble competitors.
90 trillion, but how much is destroyed, Brett, on the other side of it? I mean, I'm just curious because on the face of it, it sounds like an amazing thing that Amazon's going to be doing this. But at the same time, if you think about how Amazon is working right now, when you search for something, the knock on Amazon in recent years is that it delivers a lot of sponsored content, products you may not necessarily want, but they pay for the advertising. How does that work when you're doing generative AI? Do we know enough yet to know that this will be as profitable for Amazon as its current business model?
I mean, the short answer is no, we don't. And that's part of the reason why I'm surprised that the shares rally on the news, because they do have an advertising business and companies are basically merchants jockeying to appear higher on their search rankings and using a large language model to deliver end users to products.
Now, look, what he's saying here is very important. And then we're going to move on right after these 30 seconds. Amazon is implementing a large language model based search engine to incorporate better search results. So what does that mean? That means it's like Google and Bard, right? When you type something in, you don't get an ad, you don't get sponsored links, you get the fucking answer. His whole point is like their advertising model that just brought in $41.4 billion trailing 12-month revenue is based on advertisers bidding for inventory in the first 1 to 5 positions of your search results. If you're going to kill that business for the consumer to get better answers, where are you going to make up that revenue? So he's basically making a core argument that the thesis for these hundreds of billions of dollars of wealth that has been creating for the large tech companies is going to change overnight because the consumer and AI don't care anymore about the way that business used to be done. And that's kind of the bear case for Google, right? Which is why Google is coming out with every single AI announcement that they can imagine. And it's going to be interesting to see how kind of that plays out. Palantir doesn't have to deal with that because Palantir is not living in the past when it comes to AI.
Could break that, and perhaps profoundly. Google faces the exact same dilemma. I think it's interesting to me that these large, mega cap tech companies have rallied over the course of the last few months, when it seems to me that the likely output of AI is to enable their smaller and more nimble competitors to nibble at their heels while they use these technologies to try to beat each other over the head.
Now, this is where I think he's full of shit. This is where I think Ark is absolutely full of shit. The idea that Google, Microsoft, and Facebook, Amazon, etc., should not have been rallying over the past 6 months when Wall Street only cares about profitability, free cash flow, actually showing that you have a business that's generating like real revenues, and you're innovating on top of that. Like the stuff Google and Microsoft are doing is very innovative. Even if it's killing their core business, it is innovative right now, and their earnings have not died as the innovation has come through, right? And Google put up $69 billion in revenue, so obviously it's not going anywhere anytime soon. For Wall Street to not reward it. That's where I think Ark is full of shit. Ark should be buying some big tech. They should have bought a ton of big tech early in late 2022, early 2023, because I don't care if you say you're a growth ETF, you buy the shit that's growing or that the market respects. And if the market is not respecting Roku, or DraftKings, but they're respecting Microsoft, and Microsoft's doing some innovative shit, you buy them and then you sell them at the top, right? Like this is, or you would imagine an ETF should think like that just a little bit, just to get some recovery of gains. Now, his long-term argument is Google shooting themselves in the foot. I don't know if he's correct on this. And if he is, which like logically you could be correct on this, and companies like Palantir can overtake them from a big tech perspective, which is very possible. I think it would just take a long time to play out. And a lot of fund managers across the world, they're on a short-term basis, right? Like if Google gets rid of their entire search business, that's like $90-something billion a year of ad revenue going away. I don't think that's going to happen because most people in the world are still going to search Google for basic shit. They're not going to search Bard. And if that's the case, the business doesn't die overnight. It's more of a slow die. But I don't know necessarily if investors are ready to think that that justifies not owning those companies. And so that's the interesting, thing about big tech versus some of the small tech companies. I just want to give a shout out real quick. At 28 minutes, we have crossed 430 people in the live stream. This is the first morning I think we crossed 400 on the morning stream. I mean, we've done it sometimes in the past, but it hasn't happened consistently. This is the fourth day in a row we're passing 300. Thank you all so much for being here. It absolutely means the world. I can't say enough of how grateful I am. So thank you for spending your morning with me and being here and enjoying this nice little 5.22% run up at 1079. Man, if we crack 11, if we go from 7 to 11, you know where I'm going to get my slushie, ladies and gentlemen. I will be posting that on Twitter. 1081 on the way to getting to 11. Man, if we get there, that's going to be exciting. For those that are international, that's a joke about 7-Eleven. Even though 7-Eleven is very international. I've seen it. I mean, they have like, last time, how many locations does 7-Eleven have? Let's Google that right now. How many locations does 7-Eleven have? They have 9,000 in the United States, but worldwide they have 71,000. Yeah, so wherever you are, I would imagine you know a little bit about 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven Japan is big. Yeah, they have like 2,000 stores, 2,824 in Tokyo alone. Nearly 30% of global stores are in Japan, 21,000. 2,800 are in Tokyo. Wow. I've never been to Tokyo, bro. I can't wait to go to Tokyo one day. That's going to be crazy. Japan's different. Japan is amazing. The culture, everything. I'm not even a big anime fan, but I would imagine like there's so much just lively. My best friend actually got to go to Japan a couple months ago, so it'd be really cool to see that. SMCI 158, Duolingo 145, Tesla 173, Microsoft 315, Google 121. And again, SoFi should be up a little bit more, but 499, not hitting 5 yet. Again, this is what Brett Winton was saying, and I'm probably going to do another video in depth reacting to what he said. But his argument was like, if AI infrastructure is going to be the thing that rules over the next decade, big tech should not be up as much as it is. Now, granted, Google's at a 1.5 trillion valuation, Microsoft's at a 2.34 trillion. Here's the number one question. I want everyone to put it in the chat. By 2030, do you think Google and Microsoft are going to be $4 or $5 trillion companies, or do you think there's companies today that are 15, 20 billion? Let's say an example is Palantir, OpenAI, etc., that are going to get to 1-2 trillion and take a decent amount of market share from Microsoft, Google. I mean, like, that's a really serious question. Do you think Microsoft and Google and Apple, survive till 2030 and become the behemoths that they are today in 2023, and that they have been all throughout the 2010s? Like, maybe their lifetime was the 2010s and the 2020s are for real disruption. It's hard for me to see that happening because they're so embedded in our lives and they innovate and they're great companies and they have the best talent. And if there was any company I would bet to fight back against them, it would be Palantir. I don't know what other companies there are that could. Even Nvidia's already at Nvidia's at 1 trillion, right? No, Nvidia's at 800 billion. So Nvidia's big tech by this point. I don't know. I don't know what other companies are going to replace them. Obviously Tesla, but Tesla's also 500 billion, right? Tesla's kind of it's gained a lot of momentum. Obviously, I think Tesla can be many, many trillions, but I don't know if there's a small $20 billion company today outside of Palantir that can really disrupt at a massive level. Something like Amazon or Microsoft, Google. Amazon also having a really nice rally at 117.53. The regionals are down a little bit. So Robinhood's down, Western Alliance is down, JP Morgan is down, Snowflake up at 180, SLG is down a little bit. This is a REIT. Enphase also, like, I hate that Enphase is just not, and you would imagine on a really green day, Enphase is up a little bit. Enphase is not up. Enphase is stuck at 160. And we got Palantir at 1078. HP and IBM never thought they would F up. Yeah, it's a great point, Heinz. Never thought HP or IBM would not be the behemoths that they used to be, and they fell down. So that makes sense. I think the entire financial sector is going to undergo intense changes, and these current market cap measurements won't mean much. CBDC is moving forward quickly across the world. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, market caps are going to be very different next year. Or in 2030. I have a couple super chats. Let me respond to this. Ryan Doe 49 Amit, I need to send you my Palantir gift for a t-shirt. Just want to say thank you since I got Palantir at 750. You haven't sent me your address to send. Ryan, I did see your email. I will be responding to you today. I'm happy you got Palantir at 750 though, so I will respond to you then. Estudia PhD says, hey, if TFC bull case plays out, what is Chris expecting? 2x in a year. Okay, so Chris and myself are not expecting a 2x because we did an options play on TFC. I'm not going to get into detail on it because I do not want anyone to follow it. I don't want to talk about options, blah, 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 blah. I was heavily coached by Chris on this type of options play, so I'm not getting into the details. But we did an options play. And let's just say if TFC just reverts back to its mean of 45, we are expecting much more than a 2x by January 2025, not in 1 year. So I was actually asking Chris about it last night, and he increased his position by a lot in that option. So I was like, he's going for it. And he said this publicly, right, that he's doing some options. But I mean, the best thing to do on TFC, in my opinion, is buy the shares. The options that we bought also we bought them at 26, so they're at a high premium now, so it's going to be hard for them to execute even if you did want to buy them. But the shares pay a healthy 7.5% dividend. So on June 1st, Chris is going to get a nice little fat divvy. And, again, if you look at the charts, this is not a stock the market has got this one wrong. This is not a stock that's supposed to be at COVID lows after being at $64, where the fair value is around $57. For what? For Silicon Valley Bank collapsing? For FRC collapsing? Truist is not those companies. Truist is actually responsible with their money. 55% of depositors are small businesses, so there's no fear of a bank run. And their commercial real estate is the lowest commercial real estate exposure in the entire United States out of all banks at 8%. And it's the 7th largest bank in America with $420 billion in deposits. It's not a regional. It is a super regional that does not deserve to be at COVID levels because a couple of other banks fell. So if you could, even revert back to the mean, that would be a great return in a year. And there's a healthy dividend payout as well. So out of Chris has been buying a lot of the banks, but out of all the banks, this is the one he sees that has a massive, level of potential in terms of being undervalued. Do not do options if you don't understand them. Great if you do, but you can blow up your account just by not understanding theta decay, which is why I don't want to talk about them. Don't want to go deep into them. Again, I really personally consulted with Chris, so he was able to help me out with them. And maybe one day I can talk about them when I get good, but I've never even done really good on an options trade. So this is like my first one. This is the risk I wanted to take. I was ready to do it at this time. And, we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, options are very, very risky. So you want to be very careful about doing it. Can you theoretically talk about it? No, I can't. I can't. Adam, shout out to you. I'm just buying shares and increasing. Yeah, that is also what makes a lot of sense. I will do a pod with Prakash. Prakash was on Finance Junkies last night. And this is the dude who did a pod with Darntons 8 months ago, and he thinks Palantir is fucking 100x or something. So he came as a guest yesterday in the question segment, and I didn't know he was the same Prakash. So I hit him. I was like, "Yo, let's do a podcast." So that podcast should be coming by next week. That'll be a fun one. He worked in tech his whole life. He sold Nvidia way too early, so he has a lot of good insights to share, and that'll be fun. What do you think about Palantir's RSI at 75? Well. Well, on the 1 minute, it's at 56. So what, you're looking at the 1 day? Are you looking at the daily? Yeah, at the daily. Well, I'm looking at the minute. So the minute is not as bad as the day. I mean, look, is it a little bit high for the day? Yeah. Is it a little bit overbought? Maybe. But that's a premium that you pay. I mean, if you're going to tell me about that, let's look at Nvidia's RSI. Is it in... I would imagine it's a little bit higher than we expect. Nvidia on the daily, it's at 69. Wow, Palantir is higher than Nvidia. That's insane. But granted, Nvidia is growing more and more revenues, all that stuff. But look, the market is paying a premium. The market's paying a premium on growth, and they think Alex Karp is sandbagging the shit out of this 18% revenue growth nonsense. Honestly, if they deliver 18% revenue growth, I would be very shocked. You can't talk all the shit you're talking as a CEO in those interviews, in these public conferences, and deliver 18% revenue growth. I just don't think it's going to happen. So the market's playing a premium. After you close the position, can you talk about it? Yes, absolutely. The position probably will be closed in January 2025. So I have a little bit of time. Maybe we can talk about it. But I will definitely discuss. I mean, we'll probably talk about it before then, but in a while, we don't want to do it right now because, again, options is just not it's just a risky thing to do, right? And we bought them a while ago, so it wouldn't make, even if we do talk about it, you can't buy them right now because the premiums are just too high. Ren Silverstein says, don't make emit recharts. That's true. I've got to get better at that. Can't wait the Fed to put up another 25-point hike to clamp down on this growth. Oh my goodness, if the Fed raises another 25 basis points, I will be very, very sad. That will not be happy. That will not be good. That'll not be fun. I don't think they're doing it. When you got CPI underneath the Fed funds rate for the first time, 4.9 versus 5.25, I don't think that's going to happen. I do not think that's going to happen. You think you could be ever as good of an investor as Chris, or is he on another level? What Chris is really good at, and I consider myself, it's kind of funny. I've been thinking about this personally myself. I kind of think of myself as a protege of Chris. And what I mean by that is he's becoming a mentor to me. And I'm trying to understand, how does he think? This is why when we're on the podcast, I don't ask him what stocks. I'm asking what sectors, how do you see if something's undervalued? Why do you see this? I think the two things to take away from Chris are, number one, he's 38 years old. He's had 20 years in the market. So he's been through his ups and downs. It's not like Chris was amazing on day one. He's lost a lot of money as well in different stocks, right? So he's learned a lot from his losses, which is what's supposed to happen over time. Number two is he really does his research. And when he says he researches 4 to 5 hours a day, he actually researches 4 to 5 hours a day, right? And so as a result of that, when you're doing that much research, you can find SMCI, guys, the PE right now is 15. The PE is, hold on, I don't know if Webull is accurate. Let me see the SMCI stock. The PE, when he showed it to me and he was texting us all this shit in the group chat. Yeah, the PE is 15 right now. The PE was 6. Guess how much SMCI was growing? 70% year over year. And the market cap was, I think, at under 6 billion. And the PE was 6. And he was texting us these screenshots in our Finance Junkies group chat. He's like, guys, you got to look at SMCI. The thing looks kind of undervalued. And I'm like ignoring it. I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't really care. Then at Meta, when Meta was 120, he was telling me, he's like, Amit, I'm doing these on Meta. I remember literally talking to him, and I just didn't care, and I don't know why I ignored it, but I ignored it for some reason, whatever narcissistic reason I had to ignore it, I ignored it. But like, if someone's sharing you some free due diligence, you fucking take a look at it. Selfishly, I have a startup, Audia.io. You guys can check it out, register, sign up, see what you feel like. I asked some friends to invest, and some friends said yes, and some friends didn't. And some friends who had money, I knew they had money, they chose not to invest. If my startup becomes the thing I think my startup can become one day, no one's handing you a 50 to 100x on a silver platter. None of the people I knew, none of my friends have access to Wall Street or Silicon Valley, right? Like they're never going to get the next Instagram. I'm not saying my startup is the next Instagram, but startups 50 to 100x if it plays out the right way. And so you kind of want to think twice before you say no to someone, especially a motherfucker that has nothing to lose and is ready to take on the world. Because when you say no to them and they end up proving what they could do, it leaves a sour taste for the rest of your life. That's why when Chris mentioned Truist, I sat down with him on a Saturday for like 5 hours, and he took me through his due diligence process. And that's when I felt comfortable enough to go in on the trade. So I think I'm trying to learn what it takes to understand how to value stocks. Will I ever be better than him? I don't know. I've got to put up the numbers over the next 10, 20 years and see if I can. But I'm trying to learn the methodology, which is the fun part. And so that's the important thing. Chris has actually read books on investing. No one reads books anymore. That is also true. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I do not read that many books. Chris is next level DD. Amit will learn a lot from him. 1080, I'm positive, baby. SMCI up another 5%. Yeah, SMCI is up another 5%. And this rally is insane. Chris called this at 70. I mean, like, this rally is absolutely insane. And it's like, should have listened. Palantir 1080 it touched, now 1078, 5.17% up. Wow. Okay, let me let's pull up a couple of other things, and we'll see some other things, and then we'll be done for today. But this is incredible. Actually, let's go through Twitter a little bit. Let's see the timeline. Now that Palantir is up kind of big, let's see what the timeline is saying on Twitter. If you don't follow on Twitter, it's in the description, at Amit is investing. There's a lot of fun on Palantir Twitter, so please make sure you're following. There we go. You got Dr. Carp, I love you. What did he say?
Dr. Carp, I love you.
Okay, so that Palantir 650, Kathy. No. Palantir 1050, Kathy. Yep, that's what happens. Akshay, this is a guy who works at Palantir. This is one of their key head of engineers. He did a video with Carp a long time ago. Engineering calculation raised to a new power. I always respond to him. He doesn't respond to me because he's probably not allowed to. What should we say to this? I don't know. I'll respond something later. Last time I just congratulated him on earnings. So he's tweeting. What else do we have? Someone muted the word SoFi. That's interesting. I mean, look, I think as much as we love Palantir, there's also a lot of other opportunities in the market, and it's important to take a look at some of those opportunities. Are we hitting $11 today, Palantir? Kathy Wood is buying these top growth stocks and will make you richer over time. Palantir, please don't FOMO when you read this stuff. Yeah, please don't. That's why even now I would say don't get into 1080 balls deep, right? If you're going to get in DCA a little bit, because we could retrace, we could very well retrace. I tweeted something. Let's see what people said to that. Oh yeah, this is all I tweeted. Palantir is up 5%. Keep saying I'll buy on the pullback. It's not pulling back. LMAO. We got an Office meme. We got a Pokemon meme. LFG. We've got Jack Nicholson. Nice. Amit, have you ever disclosed your cost basis? Everyone keeps asking, bro. People are surprised when I disclose it. I'm like, we keep shit transparent around here. We're not fucking hiding shit. Guess the Chicken Genius got one wrong. New floor 10. Let's go. Next floor. Look, if Chicken Genius sold, Chicken Genius would be up another 50,000 if he had waited, but he did make $100,000. So, I mean, like, he did well. Let's just see if it keeps blowing up. Amit, did you watch Tesla Investor Day? Insane. Yes, I did. And we talked about it on Finance Junkies. So Tesla Investor Day has absolutely been insane. Palantir probably ends the day below 1130. I don't know. 1130 would be a lot to see. If it does, that'd be amazing. But let's see if it happens. Amit, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you were to rank Truist and SoFi, which would you rate higher? It depends on what you're looking for. Truist, I think, can easily come back to $45 because it's just reversion back to the mean, and it's under. It doesn't deserve to be at COVID lows. SoFi at $4.90. One could argue could very easily get back to $8 by the end of next year, right? So there's your double. So it depends on if you're looking for growth or if you're looking for something a little bit more, not having to, like, Truist earnings don't have to show some massive level of growth in order for Wall Street to be like, oh yeah, why is the stock at 27 bucks? And you get an 8% dividend. SoFi has to show massive growth no matter what. And Galileo slowed down, even though they triple beat on their earnings. But still some parts of the business are not performing at the most optimal level. Student loans are coming back, which may help, but they've got to get GAAP profitable, which I think they'll do. So it's just a question of, do you want something to come back to its basic level and then give you a dividend, or do you want something that can grow 50% year over year? Hey, Amit, do you think Palantir goes back 7-8 to close the gap? I was looking at some other charts yesterday, and Palantir actually is more likely to go up to 11 to 13 because I don't have all the lingo of how this person was speaking about the charts, and maybe this person is wrong, but they said it was more likely to go to 11, 13 versus fill a gap at 7 or 8. So if it does, load up the truck, but I don't know if it will get there. Okay, we've got Palantir past the 1090s. All right, let's open back up. All right, I went to Tesla Investor Day in person. Awesome experience. That's awesome, John. That's so awesome. Yeah, one day I hope Palantir has a day like that where, they have FoundryCon, but it's not necessarily the same thing. But that would be really cool if there's like an investor day. That would be an excuse for all of us to finally meet, which is fun, Did you load up the truck on Palantir in the 6s and 7s? Not in the 6s, but in the 7s, yes. Not in the 6s, but in the 7s. I did buy around there. Not as much as I wanted to, obviously. But in the 7s, yes. 7 and 8s is where most of my buys were, to be honest. Not in the 6s. Again, my average is still 15. So, I've taken down my average from like 26 to 15. So it's been a long journey. So even me buying now, it's like, I don't care because I can still get my average down to hopefully 11, 12. And like, I'm fine with that over the next 10 years, but I'm not buying now. I want to see if this sustains itself. Palantir's up 6.5% at 1094. Let's see if we cross 11, man. That's what I want to see. Can we cross 11? I think ARK is probably buying right now. There must be some buying pressure on the stock right now. And I don't think it's, anyone else other than ARK Innovation. So if they're buying, that may explain a little bit of the green that we're seeing right now. Up 7%, man. This comes a day after 8%, so 15% in 2 days. That's insane. I sent out my deep dive on earnings, dailypalantir.com/subscribe. It is a free daily newsletter on Palantir. Please, 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 if you're a Palantir investor, subscribe to that newsletter. It's a quick 5-minute read every single day. Dailypalantir/subscribe would mean a lot to me. We're close to hitting 2,000 subs. We're like 1980. And I covered all of the day-to-day moves, and I covered earnings on the Monday edition. And basically, I was saying I couldn't believe that we were holding above $9. I was like, I didn't expect that. And now at 1095, it's like maybe there is a new floor that is being formed on this stock, and we can move beyond this 7 to 8 kind of purgatory that we were stuck at. It'll reject off of the first attempt, but that doesn't mean it can't break hold later. Yeah, that is true. That is true. SoFi at 4 was a good deal. I agree. Admit you're going to be a millionaire one day, but the greatest joy you will get is helping others along in your journey. Jem, I'm so happy you made this comment. I have a video coming out today, okay? That video, by the way, at 1097, we're 3 cents. Let's see if we can get there. The video I have today, I think all 439 people, you need to watch this video if you get a chance. It's called Why Being a Palantir Investor is So Special. I don't want to say too much about the video because I really think people will enjoy this video, but it's coming out today, probably around 3 p.m. after my Kathy video. This is the video you want to look out for. So if you don't have notifications on, you should have notifications on the channel. I think you guys will really enjoy this video because I made a tweet about this yesterday, and that tweet is the premise for that video. And I don't even want to get into the tweet yet because I'm going to start talking about it, but I think that video will kind of highlight that comment. All right, 1097. Come on, 3 cents, 3 cents. Let's end the stream at 11. Let's give it like 2 more minutes, and then I got to go because I got a lot of other shit to do. But let's see. Can we get to 11? Can we see 11 together? We're going to remember this day on our journey as Palantir investors if we can see 11 from the depths of hell we escaped in the $7 to $8 range to finally be back to lunch. Hit 11? Did it hit 11? Well, it's at 1099. I don't see it hitting 11 yet. I don't see it. It sounded like Happy said my cat video. Oh, man. TFC with the dividend is better. Yeah, at this point, I'm more into TFC than SoFi. It makes more sense to me right now. Did it hit 11? I don't think it hit 11. I don't see it at 11. I'm looking at Robinhood. Goodness gracious. Oh, crap. Goodness gracious. Yeah, it's not at 11 yet. I don't see it there. Let's see. Do you think Amazon is a good buy? Yes, I think Amazon's a great buy. Amazon's, when they start cutting their expenses, the free cash flow and the margins are going to go out the wazoo. I think Amazon's a great buy. It's one of the best big techs in my opinion right now. I'm not buying it right now, but I think it's a great buy. It was $10.99. Yeah, everyone, $10.99. We didn't get it, but we're so close. We're so close. All right, I'm going to buy one share. Let me buy one share. Let's see if that does the job. Let's do it. Let's buy one share. Let's see if that gets the job done. So we go. Here we go. You guys see my screen? Boom. Swipe up. We got one share. Does that do it? Does that do it? If that hit 11 on that one, we're at 10.99. Come on, bro. Give me that. Give me that moment. That clip would do so well. Oh my goodness. My one share got us to 11 because I was bragging last night. Okay, so I posted when I got the notification that Palantir was up 5%, and the notification, my phone battery was so down. I got to show you guys this tweet. And everyone was like, yo, charge your phone. Why is your phone down? Why is your phone down? And then I quote tweeted it with, I think, a really smart response to all the haters that were knocking me for my phone not being as charged as it needed to be. Man, if we hit 11 right when I swiped up, that would have been fun. That would have been so fun. That would have been so fun. Oh, we're right there. We are right there. We are right there. Was it a market buy? Yeah, it was a market buy. I hope I didn't sell that shit. It was a market buy. Did I buy it? Yeah, I bought it. Was it a buy? Hold on. Yeah, it was a buy. It was definitely a buy. It was a buy. There we go. 11. Woo! $11, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, this means a lot, man. We were stuck in 7 and 8 for at least a year. We touched 9 a little bit on the last earnings, and then it came right back down to 7 and 8. Now at $11.02, up 7.4% on the day. Congratulations to shareholders for either holding through and getting some momentum back, or for those that loaded up massively and your cost basis is now in the $7 or $8 range. You're doing phenomenally well on this stock at this moment. So, man, look at that. $11.02. I'm just going to tweet 11. That's it. I'm just going to tweet 11. 11. That's it. That's what I'm going to tweet. Wow. That's incredible. 11:04, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. All right, I got to go. I'm late. I got so much stuff to do. Thank you all for being here. David, Bilal, it hit 11, but you were reading the chat. I think it hit it like right when I was reading it. So, or I don't think it hit 11 before that, but maybe it did. But that's amazing. 11. Hope it holds for the rest of the week. I hope so. 11:11. Come and make a wish. Yo, when it hits 11:11, we all got to wish that it stays there. Alice, I called it. Alice, thank you for being here. Scott, Bot, congrats to you all. Jem, Adam, I see you missed it. Oh, man. Okay, so I was a little bit late, but nonetheless, still awesome stuff. 11. Olu, Toby, we hit. Unkid, we hit. Someone brought one share and we got it there. Sanjay, 11. Let's effing go. You know, it's crazy because you guys need to watch this video I'm coming out with at around 3 p.m. Why being a Palantir investor is so special. I think everyone in this live stream that enjoyed that moment of all of us together seeing it go to 11, you're going to appreciate that video. So that's a video you want to get. But this is so cool, man. As a community to see this is so cool. This is so freaking cool. There's not many times we get to enjoy this as a community. This is so awesome. And like, look, I know some people are underwater. I'm underwater at fucking at $15, but the thing I'm going to talk about in that video is it's about the journey. The only thing that really matters in life, the thing that is priceless, is the friendships, the relationships, and the journey you make with people, because inevitably we all die and the returns do not follow us into the grave. And if we're lucky enough to make gains and money with people on the journey, that is what makes a fulfilling life in a world in which it's very hard to find meaning and purpose. So super awesome, guys. I expect to have a lot more fun moments throughout, the next 5-10 years as we're on this journey together. All right, everyone have a good day. I got to go do a ton of work. I appreciate you guys. We got 4 videos coming out today. And I will see you then. First video will be on Kathy. Next will be on the Palantir, why it's a special time to be an investor. Third video after that will be about Peter Thiel. And fourth video will be me reacting to Alex Karp's latest speech in Spain. And then we got Finance Junkies again at 10 p.m. to round out the end of the week with our podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. That's it, everyone. Have a great day. See you later. Good night. And let's see if we can hold 11. Bye, everybody.